Hello everyone. Thank you so much for waiting, and I'm sorry I'm late today. How are you doing? Hi Sachin.
Yes. Hi, Bhagyashree. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry I'm late today.
No worries, no worries.
Hello, ma'am.
Students are very
Good
cooperative.
evening.
Hi. Uh, so last class we discussed about how we can once we log into the firewall, what exactly the GUI looks like, and we also ran some commands in the CLI as well. So today I see a couple of new students. So and also I would like to ask if anyone has any questions or if anyone new for the class today, let me know.
Yes, guys, if you have any question from the previous class, you can ask and ask your another doubts as well, so that we can, move to another session. Thank you.
Hi, ma'am. I just recently joined to the course, so today is my first class. I
Right.
attended the previous demo session, previous session.
Okay. So you attended previous demo session. So this
Yes,
is your
yes.
second class, Rishma?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Uh, so do you have any questions? Have you done any research on it? What do you understand by the term Palo Alto firewalls?
Ma'am, I am currently working on the Palo Alto Firewall. So I
Okay.
have some understanding and I have like a basic addition of security policies and basic log analysis kind of experience.
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
So we want to learn the advanced troubleshooting methods and these
yeah, and
things.
a deeper knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you so much for sharing. Yes, definitely, this course will help you in understanding the analysis as well. So initially, we will start with a basic thing, and eventually we will go ahead and explore some topologies, the configurations, and as well as we will do the troubleshooting as well in our lab, and you will get a full lab access to do your experiments, and as well you will have really good hands-on experience with the Palo Alto firewalls.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right, Reshma. Anyone have any questions regarding how to take a backup of the firewall, how to do the upgradation of the firewall, or where to see the logs in the firewall? Any sort of questions? Okay. No worries. If no questions, then we'll start today's section. Today, I will discuss about the network segmentations, zones, and as well as what are the different types of interfaces that are available in the firewall. Okay. Just give me a moment. I'm just turning on the lab topology. Okay. Meanwhile, let me share my screen and show you guys what exactly I'm doing, and if the firewall is not coming back, like in the lab scenario specifically, just to understand how I'm trying to get the things on. Okay, so correct, this is my topology, right? So as I said, it has the management plane, and these Ethernet 1 and Ethernet 2 are data planes, right? So I went here and tried to do the start all nodes. Okay. So once the nodes has been started, you will get these kind of a notifications. So I have assigned a Palo Alto IP address. So it will take some time whenever we try to do a start of the lab session. And this setup is in EVNG, which is like a free version. Okay, even you guys can also set up in your personal laptop. Once we start our classes, like in our class, you will get the access to the Palo Alto Firewalls where you guys can do the configuration and everything. Meanwhile, if you guys are free and if you want to explore more on EVNG platform, so you can set up your own Palo Alto lab, which will be there for you like for an entire lifetime also. So this thing you can do. So here I just did I just turned on my firewalls and I have assigned an IP address to that, right? Which is since it is local to my EVNG, so and I have also assigned a DHCP IP address to this. So it will assign IP address which the EVNG platform will give the IP address. So I have a IP address in the range of 129. So 192.168.152.129. Okay. So this is currently which is coming like this. So maybe the firewall is taking a reboot or something. So let's give it some time. Yeah, so we see that it got some response. So you can see the net IP address, which is I told you, which is 129, right? So it is gradually rebooting the device. So now is if you see, I got a login page as logging to the Palo Alto Firewall. Okay, let me go ahead and try using a GUI. Okay. So whenever, I mean, this is how the initial configurations will looks like. So if the firewall is not coming back, we will usually give it some time because the firewall will always take some time because it has very huge configurations in it. The configuration file is big and as well as um, the file, I mean, the OS is also kind of a little heavier. And as I'm using the trial version, this is just a lab setup, so it will take some time. Even in real-time scenarios as well, these will take time. So that's why whenever we are upgrading a device or whenever we are trying to uh, do some troubleshooting, which may require a maintenance window, so we will schedule that and take a maintenance window on that. So because it will have a business interruption if the firewall goes down. So always make sure to take a maintenance window by checking into your team. Okay. Let me, so even though I try to log into the GUI, it still says the device is not reachable, right? So next step, what I will do to check the device reachability, I will try to ping the device. Okay. So I know the IP address of the device because that's how the configuration that I did last time. So I will try to ping the IP address 192.168.152.129. Okay. So I see that the device is on and it is responsive. Only thing is the GUI is not getting. So maybe the firewall is in the reboot state. So let's go ahead and check if I can access the SSH. So how you guys will SSH the device? Through putty, right? Or maybe some mobile stream or any other platforms. So 129. Okay. Okay. See, we got the firewall back, right? So this is a login page of the firewall. Maybe the firewall is still rebooting. Even though I try to log in now, it will still kick me out. Let's try logging in. Okay, the login page is successful. We got the access. Let's see what is the status of the CLI. Yeah, so we got the CLI and the GUI as well. Okay, so now today in our class we will try to understand, and whenever we get the device back, we will see the status of the interface, right? So we should have 1 and 2 interface should be up, but for some reason it says the interfaces are not up, but here you can see the link state is up. So maybe it is still updating or something. See, you got the link status up. So, and also we can see the management interface CPU is backing up. So because whenever the firewall reboots, it will go for an auto commit. So what is auto commit? Anyone know about what is auto commit? Okay, so let's understand what is commit. Anyone know what is commit?
To save the configuration.
Yeah, right. To save the configurations. And so if we make some changes in the network or on the firewall, and if we want to save that changes, we have to do and commit on the firewall. So right now we see there is no pending commit. Suppose let's say under the policies we may have created a test policy, and under test policy you have some changes, and then if after doing some changes, so I'll delete this and I'll keep it any and I'll click OK. Okay. Now you will see a commit button which is blinking. So once the commit button, you can also always do a preview changes, okay, to understand what exactly the change that has been done. So I can, under the preview changes, so under the local device, like there are two configurations. One is running configuration, another one is candidate configuration. So this is also very important in terms of answering the interview questions and understanding the commit process in the firewall. So what running configuration is? The configuration which is saved already and it is running on the firewall. What is candidate configuration is before doing a commit, whatever the changes that we made, so that is a running configuration. That is a candidate configuration. So you can see under the running configuration, the trust is added, but under the candidate configuration, it is added as any. Why? Because we have removed trust source as trust and we have added it as any. So the there is a change in running configuration and the candidate configuration. So this will be shown here. So once we confirm that this is the change that we made, because while you are using a device, there are many other engineers also or system admins also who are using the system. So you need not to commit other person's commit as well, because it may conflict the device problem or it can cause a problem, right? So whenever you do a commit, so you always do a commit which the changes has been done by you, not by anyone else. So if you do a full commit, then whatever the changes that has been made by others as well, it will get commit. Okay, so the another one is, this is a preview change that we just saw, and the another one is change summary. So under the change summary you will see what are the differences that we see when we make some changes. Okay, and under validate config, so if we do the validate config, this is also a commit, so it will check the configuration is correct or not. Even before a commit, it will show some errors if there are any certain errors. Okay, so this is about preview change, change summary, and validate commit. Okay, so I'm trying to explain you what exactly the commit is and how we are going to test a commit and what is auto commit process in the Palo Alto firewalls. Okay, so first let's understand what commit things are and what are, I mean, while doing a commit, what are the things that we can see, and then I will explain you about what is commit, auto commit. Okay, understood about these things? Any questions? Any confusions or any questions here?
No, we are good. Yeah.
All clear
All
now.
right. Sure. Okay. So now, since we have seen the or validate commit is successful, right? So how we can check is we have done, see here what I did, show jobs all. So what are the jobs on the Palo Alto Firewall? Whenever we do certain changes and do a commit, it will create a jobs on the Palo Alto Firewalls. Okay, so we have done preview change on the firewall. So for that, it has created a ID for that. So the job ID for the preview changes too. We have done a validate change as well. So for the validations, the status is finished and the result is okay. If the commit is failed or the validation failed, this will change. Okay, and here with the help of ID, we can also check some more things. So show jobs ID 3. Okay, so it will say configuration is valid. Okay, once the configuration is valid, so what we can do a commit. And again, as the management interface is responsible for doing the configuration changes, right? So you will see a spike in the management interface in a while. That is normal. And you will not see like 60%, 70% in general for the bigger devices or the device is licensed. So since it is a lab device, so you will see a big spike even for the simple commit. See, okay. So why it is showing? Because the resources are getting occupied while we are making the changes on the firewall. So that's the reason the management CPU will occupy and it will automatically release its resources once the commit process is done. Okay. So now let's go ahead and see what is. Okay. So now you can see we have one more commit process as well here, right? The fourth commit has been created. So what we can do, we can check on what exactly the information that is there. So configuration is committed successfully. Okay, so understood about what commit, what preview changes and validate change is there on the Palo Alto Firewall. Now let's understand what is auto commit. So you see, whenever so this was when I started my firewall, it rebooted. I mean, it was in the down state, and when I started the firewall, the first thing the firewall will do will go under the process is auto commit. So auto commit will always check all the device resources configurations are in place or not. So that's the reason whenever the firewall goes for a reboot, it will check for the auto commit. So successfully committed last configuration. So whenever the firewall gets rebooted, it will check all its configuration inside it, and it will do a auto commit by itself whenever there is a reboot. If the firewall is stuck in the auto commit, then the firewall state will show the device is not ready somewhere here under this tab. Okay, so it will show the device is not ready, and some of the things will be grayed out in case the auto commit is stuck. So whenever you see the device has been rebooted, the first best thing that you can do is checking for the auto commit is successful or not. If it comes with some errors or failures, which means the firewall is not ready. Okay, so this is about the commit things on the firewall. Any questions? Or I can see a few of you guys have experience on the firewall. Like you guys want to share any of your experience while you're doing commit changes. Maybe you are pushing from Panorama or any sort of issues that you faced.
Guys, at least you can say yes or no, so that class will be interactive. Anyone?
Yeah, Reshma or Santosh, Saurav.
Ma'am, I don't have any experience with Palo Alto. I have in Cisco routers.
Oh,
All the
okay.
Cisco routers.
All right, no problem.
I haven't
So you
faced
understood?
any issue as of now while
Yeah.
doing it.
Okay. So you didn't face any issues?
No, as of now, I
Okay.
have not faced any issues.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. So that's all right. So I mean, this is just to make you understand how the commit process will work on the Palo Alto firewalls. Okay. Now let's understand what is network segmentation or what are the zone-based firewalls. So um, any any idea what is the segmentation? What is network segmentation? This is not really related to Palo Alto. This is just general networking concept. What is segmentation?
It is a process of driving larger computer networks into smaller ones.
Kind
Smaller
of.
isolated segments or subnets.
You can be more specific or um, it's sort of similar answer, but yeah, you can try improvising it.
DMZ demilitarized zones are that network segment, right?
Yeah,
DMZ.
so not only DMZ, okay. Anand, I see you're unmute. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, acknowledgement ACK acknowledgement sending and receiving data processing. Just like
Okay, so yeah.
forward and reverse lookup.
Hmm. Not really. I'll explain you what exactly the network
Yes,
segmentation is.
Wi-Fi,
Maybe,
general network, IoT networks. These are all the
yeah,
under network
that's
segment.
yeah, that's correct. So
Yeah, network.
So whenever we see a network segmentations, right? So suppose let's say we have the guest Wi-Fi, we have a finance team, we have HR team. Okay, so these are different teams where they will have their own privileges to get the access. Suppose the guest Wi-Fi um, the guest Wi-Fi will not have the access to the internal servers, right? Suppose, let's say this is our switch, and from the switch, it will connect to our Palo Alto firewall. Okay, so and the Palo Alto firewall will later connect it to internet. Okay, so the guest Wi-Fi will so whenever any of your employees who has connected to your guest Wi-Fi will always first go through the first layer 2 and layer 3 inspections, and it will pass that device, and it will go to the firewall. Firewall will do its inspection, and on the firewall it will see where exactly it needs to exit and what kind of a access that we need to do. So maybe behind these firewalls there may be certain servers, right? So maybe there are certain servers or applications which are running on the Palo Alto behind the Palo Alto firewall, or maybe running on a cloud. The guest Wi-Fi cannot have a access to these type of these type of requests. The guest Wi-Fi cannot have the access to our internal servers. What the guest Wi-Fi can do, at max, they can access to the internet and get the general information, or not even the complete the internet access they will have. They will have very limited access on the guest Wi-Fi. Okay. Now let's comes to the HR segmentation. So HRs will come to the firewall again. They will have certain access to your internal servers, web servers, applications, and also towards the internet. So this firewall will divide these kind of a networks and like a zones. Okay. So as you know, the Palo Alto firewall will work as is a zone-based firewall. So once the zones are created, based on that, okay, let me clear this diagram. Okay, once the zones are created, based on that, we can assign those zones to the interface. Suppose, let's say these are the zones. I am going to create one zone like DMZ. Okay, and I will say, why I explained the segmentation is because you can relate the network segmentation concept with the zones on the Palo Alto firewall. So there will be trust zone, untrust zone, or DMZ zone, or guest Wi-Fi zone. So these zones, we can call it on the interface. Okay. So here I'm just creating a normal DMZ zone, whether I want to create a log setting or not, and also type of the interface. So I will create a layer 3 interface. And also if I want, I can assign any of the interfaces here. If not, we can leave it as it is as of now. Okay. But it is important to add the type of the interface and as well as the name or the logging settings. Okay. So, and also we can add the zone protection profile as well here. So click OK. So now the zone has been created. Okay. If under the trust interface, like this is my trust network. Here, as an example, this is my Windows machine is a trust network, right? So what I did, I attached Windows to the internet Ethernet one by one. So the same way, I have added the trust interface to Ethernet one by one. Okay, and I'll click OK. And here under the interfaces, we can see the Ethernet one by one, and this is a layer 3 interface. So there, and also the security zone, I called it as trust zone. So I cannot change it to tap interface or layer 2 interface or layer virtual wire, vWire interface. So if I have defined a security zone as trust, and under the trust zone, I have defined the zone as layer 3, then under the interfaces as well. So I have to define it as layer 3 interface. Okay. So under that, and if I go to the IPv4, so this is the IP addresses that I need to get on that LAN device. And this is IPv6. Whether in the advanced, there is one more important thing in the advanced. We can always keep this as auto, or like maybe up, or if you want to keep the interface down, sometimes you can define here as well the link state up. Not every time you need to go physically and then disconnect this, or we can do that on the firewall as well. Okay. And another important thing is the management profile, adding a management profile. Okay, what is management profile again? So here under network interface management, so we can define what access we can give to that interface. Okay, so for example, this is MGMT profile that I created. Okay, and in the MGMT profile, so I can allow HTTP, HTTPS, Telnet, and SSH. So these all services on that interface. Okay, so let me create one more management profile. So test profile. So what I will do, I may want only HTTPS on this profile, and I just want ping and user ID services on that profile. Okay, what the test profile. So I'll click OK, and then I'll go to interface, and then for the Ethernet 1x2 advanced. So under this, I'll attach the test profile. So under test profile, I know what all the services that I have enabled. So that's the reason this is untrust, right? So I'm not giving a full flex access for this interface. So I'm giving a limited access. So what management profile will do, what management interface, so management profile is nothing but your interface management. So here under the interface management, we have to configure what exactly the services that we need to define for the interface, and come here and then call those interfaces here. Okay, and then click OK. By attaching the interface, exposing firewall administrator. Okay, that is fine. Then commit. Okay, so this is one of the one example for the interface, and you can see whenever you are configuring certain interfaces, we will see these 5 types of interfaces. Okay, so anyone know what is tap interface? Anyone know what is tap interface? What exactly the term tap in the networking term, not only firewall?
Is SNMP trap? It is.
No, so not exactly.
The tab will monitor the traffic, whichever is going through that interface.
Yeah. So it will monitor the traffic of what?
It indicate that the connections have started or stopped through the routers. Administrative messages, right?
Yeah. So it will be in a listening state. The tap interfaces are always, if you attach the tap interfaces to any of your switch or any of the routers, so the tap interfaces is just like a listening state. So it will listen all those ports which we have configured on the tap. So it will just monitor that. So it can be any of your switch, right? So that is the use case of a tap switch. And next comes to the HA. HA is nothing but the high availability, right? So suppose, let's say you have 2 firewalls, right? And between these 2 firewalls, you want to configure the HA configuration, like active and passive. How you will configure? So under the HA configurations, so one of the interface here, Ethernet 1x3 and 1x4, you will dedicate these interfaces for HA. Okay, so for example, okay, these are 2 firewalls. Okay, and under these 2 firewalls, let's say this is Ethernet 1x3, and this is Ethernet 1x4, and here also this is Ethernet 1x3 and 1x4. Okay, and whenever we want to configure these type of HA configurations, so what we will do, we will configure these 2 ports as HA ports. Okay, and we will connect these 2 things. So once, if this device is down, so this will be up. If this device is down, so this will be up. One is acting as active and another one is acting as a passive. So if the active goes down, the passive will be up, and if the active comes back again, the active device, which is a secondary device, which goes back to passive back again. So it is like a primary and secondary mode. Okay, and there are layer virtual wire as well, and layer 2 and layer 3 interfaces as well. Okay, so I will do some configurations on this. So I will try to mimic the device, mimic some of the configurations, and you guys will get the chance to configure layer 2 virtual wire, layer 3 and HA, mostly HA we will do. So once we have our lab setup is up. Okay, any questions?
Ma'am, can you explain the tab interface once?
Yeah, sure. So I will draw some diagram to make you understand. Okay, so what exactly the tap interface is? Let's say this is our switch. Okay, on this, and this is our firewall. Okay, and let's say this is our tap interface, which is Ethernet 1/3, which is here, right? So 1/3 interface, I will connect the tap 1/3 interface to the switch, and this interface I'll configure it as a tap interface. So if you choose here a tap interface, so what information that you need? You need only security zone. And in the advanced, you see only link speed, link duplex, and link state. In the same way, if you choose layer 3, you see we need to assign IPv4 as well. And in the advanced, we may have to give all the layer 3 informations. Whereas in tap interface, it's just about layer 2. Do you know what do you know what is layer 2? Layer 2 is all about the MAC addresses, right? In the OSI model. So on the layer 2, the switch will be there, and the switch will listen on the MAC address, and it will check its MAC table and update its MAC table, right? So the tap interface is, so this interface will be in the listening state. It will not do any other work. It will just be in the listening state. So, and here we can attach the network profile and configurations. Here we just need to assign any of the security zones. Okay, what security zone if you want to configure? This is not coming because kind of why. So I'll choose tap. Okay, so anyway, this is, I thought it will show. Okay, so the tap interface will be only in the listening state. So it will not do any other way work, but it will listen the port that we assigned on the switch. So it will just monitor the switch port. It will trigger any warnings, or it will trigger any critical alerts. So the firewall will mirror that port. You understand what is mirroring, right? So it will just mirror that port.
Yes, yeah. Yes, ma'am, I got it.
All right,
Thank you.
no problem. That's about the interfaces. Okay, so once you guys do the hands-on experience on how to create the interfaces, how you can relate the interfaces between your LAN, WAN, and your management interface, then it will be easier for you to get the understanding. Okay, now next, there's one more important feature that I want to update, let you know. So whenever we configure the Palo Alto firewalls in the initial time, so we need to always make sure that this update server name is updated. So which is Palo Alto Networks, updates.paloaltonetworks.com. So the Palo Alto firewall will always try to reach this updates.paloaltonetworks.com. Okay, let me see if I can ping that. Ping host. Okay, so you can see we are able to ping to updates.paloaltonetworks.com, which means that it is connected to its cloud platform. So even I mean, this would be made sense when you guys have the license to the device, and when we are trying to suppose, let's say, under content updates, under dynamic updates, so we always keep fetching those URL information, threat ID, threat, and antivirus. So all these dynamic updates are fetched from these updates.paloaltonetworks.com. So we need to always make sure that under device setup and services, so this is updated, and it should always reach to it should always get a response from the updates.paloaltonetworks.com. So this is one of the important thing. And the other important thing is updating our NTP server. So if you have the internal NTP servers, make sure that you add those primary NTP server and the secondary NTP server. If not, then just add a general NTP server. Okay. And the one more thing is service routes. What is service route in the Palo Alto Firewall? Any idea?
Like it's defining the route for the control plane, like defining everything, like defining DNS for Palo Alto Firewall itself.
Yeah, that's right. So the service routes are nothing but we will define whether we want to route the traffic from management interface, or we can do it as a customize. And under customize, we can choose, suppose, let's say, the DNS traffic. Okay, DNS traffic, I can choose the DNS traffic, what is the source interface should be, and what is the destination and the source address. Okay, so we can do this configuration, or we can leave this to or we can configure this as to make use of a management interface. So mostly customers will use the management interface for all the service routes. In some cases, in some rare scenarios, so if they have any TechX or Kerberos or any updates, URL updates that they are getting it from any of the interfaces, then we will configure it from any of these cloud services platform, any of the interfaces that we can configure. Okay. So here we can also add the destination as well, IPv6 information or IPv4 information. So it is always recommended to leave as use as management interface. Suppose, let's say I am pinging, suppose ping host 8.8.8.8. So by default, this traffic is going through my management interface by default. Okay, so if I want this traffic to what is management interface? This is a management interface, right? For example, if I have to show you in the scenario, so the traffic is going out through the management interface. Suppose if you want the traffic to go out through any of your LAN interface, so you need to be we need to specify the interface as well there. Okay, so how we can specify ping host source, which is, maybe I'll add one of my interface IP. And 628.1.2. Okay. Host. So this will not go through. So maybe I don't have internet access on that device. So it will show you. If we want to choose from any of the interfaces, we need to do ping from that particular interface. Okay. I think the command is wrong. Let me see. I think that device is not. It's- Okay, I will check on this. Maybe this is because of the device is not on here. Okay, so this is about how we can check on the service routes. So if the traffic is going from the management interface, so we no need to define any of the source interface. Okay, if by default all of the traffic will travel from the management interface itself. And one more important thing is whenever we are launching or whenever the traffic which is going from the management interface, we will not get that traffic on the monitor tab. So all the management traffic, if you want to capture the management traffic, we need to take a TCP dump on the CLI. All the data plane traffic is captured here under the monitor tab. So only the data plane traffic that we can see, all the management traffic is not visible under the traffic. So that's why even though we had some ping successful under the management and updates Palo Alto Networks was also successful, but still we are not able to see that here. That's because that all traffic is passing through our management interface, not through the data plane interface. Okay. Any other questions?
No.
Okay. So let me show you some more resources that we have assigned here on the Palo Alto Firewall. So the one of the important command that we always run is show system resources. Okay, so if you guys know about the Linux, so you will be able to relate it very soon, but if not, that is also fine. Okay, so you can see, I mean, whenever we are troubleshooting, whenever there is, if the device is hanging in and the response is very late from the device, so we will always see, we will always check the system resources. What are the system? As we can see um, on the GUI, we were able to see the basic management CPU and the data plane CPU, right? But here on the CLI, we can see in detail. So what are the CPU which is assigned? So when if the device is corrupted or if the device has any sort of not a normal behavior, then you will see some zombies here and some processes are stopped, so on. And also it is important to keep on checking on these PIDs. which is process ID. So in Linux, you can see what are the processes that we are running, right? So you can see here the CPU is 12.5%, and this is memory. So memory is 31% and CPU is 12.5%. So whenever we see this is going beyond 70%, we will see always the top talkers on top. So the pan task is currently on 12%. So that's some of the processes which are running here. Okay. Everyone still can see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay. And the next command is so this is another important resource command. I think in the first class or second class, we were discussing about the CPU allocations, right? The CPU allocations on the firewall. So as we can see, I have only 2 cores assigned to this device. That's because it's a basic device and I don't have license on it or anything, right? So that's the reason. You will see only 2 cores. Suppose let's say your firewall is um, PA 300 or PAVM 300 or 500. So you will have 6 cores assigned to it. So each core consumption will show certain values. So instead of showing it as 1 here, it will show 66, 99. If it is showing the 99 value, then the CPU utilization has gone up. And the same way here, you will see the data plane CPU is going beyond 90%. So how you will troubleshoot if the data plane CPU is going beyond 90%? That's where you run these command and try to check what exactly the consumption, where exactly the firewall is taking the consumption. So we will see what is the packet buffer, packet descriptor. We have to go like a little deep in this. We will start learning these things when we do the basic troubleshooting or when we do the configurations. You will see some values. So that's where we will try to interpret those things. Okay. So this is about system resources and okay. And one more important thing is show system.
Bhagyashree, can you just, zoom in your screen, please? Font is very small.
Okay.
Zoom in your screen.
No, I think I need to change that setting right in the putty. Here or somewhere. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, there itself in appearance, there was often font. You click on change
Change.
and
Okay.
increase the points. Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
right.
Is it okay or is it too much?
Yeah, fine, fine.
Fine. Okay. Thanks. Show system disk space. Okay. So this is also another important thing on the Palo Alto firewalls. So whenever we troubleshoot, so we always see what is the disk space that is consumed here. So there are different file systems. Anyone very familiar are familiar with the Linux? Okay, so if not, that is also fine. So by understanding these terms, we will understand what exactly the file system is under the Linux, what are the different category, how the file system has been divided on the Palo Alto firewalls. So we can see the first file system is root, right? So under the root, most of our configurations, basic things will be stored. So if the root is getting higher, which is the usage is getting higher, like 99% and 100%, so we will face certain problems on the firewall. We will be not able to log the device, we will be not able to log into the device and other things. So, and the same, that's where we understand, I mean, this is one of the reason where the data plane CPU will show you 100% when the root is 100, or I think the management CPU will show 100% when the root is 100. Okay, so this is one of the important aspects again while we are troubleshooting the management plane and the data plane. So these all commands we need to run, we need to observe where exactly the consumption is going on. We need to make a point of that, and then we will eventually understand what making the what causing the device which is 100%. Okay, so these are the certain basic things that I like to cover today. So apart from this, there are many things. So actually, once we give you guys the lab access, it is a bit easier for you also to able to relate whatever the things that we have studied in last 3 classes, all the basics. So the next thing is we need to start about doing the practical sessions. So we have covered mostly all the basic things that the Palo Alto firewalls required. Okay, so any questions till now about any of the topics?
We are good here.
Yeah. Okay
Ma'am,
then.
can you share the Palo Alto command list? Like in Cisco, we have all the commands.
Yeah, sure. I will share that. Yeah, sure. I'll share that. So in the next class, so we will do if the device is given to you, the new device, how you will configure the device, which is the management IP address, and how you take the CLI access and the GUI access of the device. And then once that is the first step, okay? Once the GUI and CLI access is given to you, and we will do some experiments on giving access to the device, what kind of a policies that we need, what kind of basic necessity things that we need to provide. Suppose, let's say the device needs to access the Facebook, how you will open a rule on the firewall, right? So that thing we will do. We will also try to do experiments on how to take a backup of the firewall, how to upgrade the firewalls. So these things we will do practically in the next section. Okay. let me know if you guys have any further questions on this.
Yes, guys, if you can ask your doubts, and we can sum up the class for today. Right, Bhagyashree?
Yeah. So we will end the class today as the most of the theoretical concepts are done, and also I have shown you a few of the practical things how we can do on the firewall. So just come prepared for the next class. We will do the practical things, and as well as do some little research on the devices, what different OSs that we have, how the Palo Alto firewalls are leveraged in the real-time scenarios. So not just about the labs or experiments, it's about how we are using these devices in the real-time scenarios in the data centers, in large organizations and everything. Okay. So we will try to discuss those scenarios and also the troubleshooting things, and also about the interview questions, how the interviewers are throwing you mostly on the practical scenarios, right? So we will try to gain more knowledge on the real-time based. Okay. So let me know if you have any further questions regarding the course, regarding the Palo Alto firewalls, timings, or anything.
Yeah. Okay, I think fine for today. We can,
All
you know,
right.
with the tomorrow session, 9 p.m.
Sure.
Yes,
Thank you so much, Sachin. Yeah. See
yeah.
you tomorrow. Bye.
Actually, who have not taken admission, they can contact with admission team. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the time today. Thank you, Bhagyashree. Take care.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.